My name is Jen, and I'm a licensed athletic trainer and registered yoga teacher. And I'm going to show you a short sequence to get your body moving if you have been on a long car ride, a long bus ride, to really shake out those travel legs. So you don't need anything fancy to do this. This is going to take you not a ton of time, but it's really a great addition to get the body moving, particularly if you've been seated for a long period of time. So we're going to start standing, and we'll take the feet about hip distance apart and just shift the weight front to back, and then eventually finding stillness. Check in with all the muscles starting at the toes and through the arches of the feet all the way through up to the hips. So firming up through the quads, we'll feel the kneecaps subtly lift up, engaging the belly button in and up, and then eventually checking in with our shoulders, finding that sweet spot between really elevated and tense and too much shoulder depression. So we'll find a happy medium, even give the shoulders a little bit of a bounce. Let's take a deep inhale and breathe out through your mouth. Settle into this nice tall posture. And the next time that we breathe, we're going to elevate our shoulders along with that breath. So let's go ahead and take 3 breaths, starting with an inhale. As you exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Again, inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. Again, shoulders up, inhale. Exhale, back. Dropping the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And just careful that the shoulder's not meeting the ear. It's all neck movement. Taking a breath in, really focusing on space on that left side of the neck. And then we'll use the strength of those neck muscles to bring the head back to a neutral spine, and then dropping the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Breathing in fully, exhaling out fully. And then let's go ahead and bring the head back up to center. Awesome. Reach the fingertips out towards the sides. So we'll spread out the fingers as if you're going to give somebody a big solid air high five, a little wiggle. And then let's turn our thumbs down. Rotating into internal rotation, and then changing, palms up, reaching the pinkies. And then notice, as you take these rotations, what happens at the back. Sometimes we really want to squeak out that rotation, that we add the spine. Let's not do that today. So just focusing on the shoulders, we should see the hands in your peripheral vision. And then we'll finish that round energetically reaching out, tall through the spine. We're going to cross the arms right across the chest. Give yourself a little hug. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, drop the right shoulder down. Gaze down towards the toes. Back towards the center as you inhale. And then as you exhale, reach the fingers out. Inhale, recross, opposite side on top. And then as you exhale, drop the left shoulder. Gaze down towards the floor. Inhale, back to the center, reach it out. Recross the arms, drop the shoulder. Gaze down. Up to the center, breathe in. Exhale, recross. Drop the shoulder. So the hips are staying nice and heavy. The only portion of the body that is moving is from the belly button up. So we're going to reach that out energetically, give a little finger wiggle, and we'll set the arms by the side. Awesome. Good work. All right, we're going to get into our hips. So we're going to take a short runner's lunge. So I am going to kind of stand through my right leg, and I'm going to drag the left foot back kind of halfway between this and a full runner's lunge. So the toes will press down, and we'll soften both knees. So once we get our stability here. The feet are on kind of train tracks, so parallel paths here. We'll get a nice tuck of the pelvis under to lengthen the low back. Take a breath in. Exhale, sink into that back knee a little bit more, opening up the front of the hip and into the quad. So we'll pause here, taking the left hand right alongside the hip. Fingers are going to flex up towards the forearm. We're just going to slowly reach up till we get midway. Pause here. Take a breath in. Exhale, maybe you get a little more knee bend. Checking in with that pelvic tilt. Go ahead and reach the hands all the way up and pause. Get this whole fascial line here. And we'll slowly bring it down. Extend through the legs. Turn the back toes out. And we're just going to shift back into a hamstring stretch. So in our hamstring stretch, we're just going to press the heel downwards. Keeping the back nice and flat, let's come up to stand. Let's go ahead and flow that out. So we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, and reach up towards the ceiling. Sweep the hands back, and reach up. Back, and up. We'll take two more back, and up. Last one. Wonderful. So we're going to change the cross of our legs. We'll step it forward, shake out the legs, and we'll just look on the opposite side. So I'm going to stay where I am just so you can see kind of what it looks like. And with that right leg, we're going to bring it back, again, about halfway of a runner's lunge. Get that tuck of the pelvis and drop the knees with some flexion, both in the front and the back. When we get that pelvic tilt, it really can get into the hip flexor and the psoas muscle groups. So this is kind of a really important factor here. So we're here, standing up nice and tall. Take the right hand right alongside the hip. As you breathe in, begin to guide those fingers up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Come up halfway. Settling into that flexion of the knees and toe extension. Inhale the rest of the way up. Pause here, full breath cycle. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring the heel of the hand back to the side of the hip. Straighten both legs, turning the toes out. Sit back. Hips will reach back. Crown of the head is forward. We find our hamstring stretch. Keep that front hip. Tug the hip crease back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale up. And exhale it back. Last one up. And exhale back. All right, wonderful. Let's go ahead and step the feet together. And we're going to take a wide stance here. So take the feet pretty wide. And if you're tall, it's going to be wider than you think. And once we find this kind of wide stance, we'll take the hands, sweep them behind the back. I've got my fingers pointing downwards towards the ground, just below where your belt line would be. The next time that you breathe, open up the chest, pull the elbows in towards one another. Exhale out. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale. Elbows will pinch inwards. This time we're going to add maybe a little back extension if it feels right for your body. So we'll lift up tall. Exhale, gentle back bend. Keep the hip nice and stable. Exhale out. Breathe back to a tall spine. With your right toes, we're going to turn them out just a little bit. Bend that knee. And we're just going to come into a lateral lunge. So we'll pause here for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Drop the left shoulder towards the big toe. Inhale, come up. We'll turn our left toes out. Reset to the opposite side. Lateral lunge. Deep breath in. Breath out. Right shoulder will drop. We'll come back to the center. This time, reach the fingertips out. We'll bend that right leg, and then we're going to take a big rotation through the T-spine, through the thoracic spine. So we're going to reach across, tap the calf, and then come back to center. Inhale tall, exhale, right hand to the left calf. Inhale tall, rotate right, inhale, rotate left. Awesome. Come back to the center. We'll take our hands to the hips, work the feet back to the center of your practice space. And then we're going to work just a little bit of spinal rotation. So we'll inhale, reach your hands up, get really, really tall. And then as you breathe out, bend the knees, and we'll just kind of sprinkle it forward and come into a forward fold. The kicker here is to keep the knees bent. Give the head a little shake right to left. Gentle pull back of one hip. Gentle pull back of the other. Gentle pull. And gentle pull. Step the left foot back, dropping the back left knee. We're going to come into a kneeling lunge, pressing into the front thigh. And just be mindful, again, to that pelvic position. We want to get that subtle tucking, which means this knee shouldn't be terribly far back. So lots of hip flexion here. Open up the chest. Take a big breath, getting right across the pecs, the center of the chest. As you exhale, we'll dive it forward. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, dive it forward. Inhale. And exhale. Open up the chest. We're going to sweep the arms around. We're going to step back to a downward facing dog. This is the only one that we're doing, but it's great to get the back of the legs. So we'll pick up the back knee, step it back. Give the head a little shaky shake. Walk out the feet. And we'll step it forward with the left leg. Right knee will drop. So we're set up in kneeling lunge. Hopefully it's on the opposite side. That back right knee should be right under your hip, right under the pelvis. Press into the front upper thigh. Getting a subtle squeeze of this back glute to maintain that position of the pelvis. Taking a deep breath in, nice and tall up through the top of the head. And exhale out. Awesome. Open up through the chest. Sweep the arms around, reach it forward. Open up the chest, sweep it forward, and then pull back. Reach it forward, and pull it back. Sweep the arms around. We're going to step this foot back, drop the knees, and step back into a child's pose. Walking the hands to one side, we're going to keep the hips relatively neutral. Bring the hands back to the center. We'll bring the hands off to the right side, working this entire left side of the body. Awesome. Back to the center. We're going to walk it back, bring the feet around. We're going to end with a few figure four stretches to get right into our hip area, which can tighten up from being seated for a long period of time. So we'll take our right ankle up and over. So we're going to pull the toes up towards the shin, working that right knee away from the face. And we can take 3 or 4 breaths here. Now I'm in a seated shape here. You are, of course, welcome to come onto the back and take your figure four stretch lying on your back. All right, so we're going to recross, reset up by pulling the toes towards the shin, working that left knee away from the face. Awesome. Last thing we'll do is we're going to reach out long through both legs. Giving the legs a little shake out first. And then we'll take some space between the feet. And then I like to usually prop myself up. We're going to just dial the toes in, dial the toes out. Just getting some internal and external rotation at the hip. And take your time, there's no rush. Just really kind of squeak out those remaining degrees of your range of motion. Let's switch to the other side. Wonderful. Point and flex through the ankles. Maybe some circles. And in the other direction. All right. Come into a nice comfortable seat. We'll take our right hand, reach it out to the side. Our left will come up and over. Really big side body stretch. Working to unstick all of the spots in the ribs where the muscles connect. Let's take maybe 2 more breaths here. Come on back, reset it. Left fingertips will reach. That right arm will come all the way up and over. Almost as if someone's pulling your wrist on a diagonal. Keeping that right sitting bone really pressing downwards into the mat. You're going to get more bang for your buck in this shape, in this stretch. It should feel amazing. Wonderful. Let's come back to the center. Interlace our hands. We'll roll out through the wrists. Stretching through the palms, rounding through the upper back. Take a nice big breath in through the nose. And exhale out, chin to the chest. As you breathe, pick the chin up, pick the hands up. Nice and tall. Make yourself maybe an inch or 2 taller. And then pull the fingers apart and drop them down by the side. The shoulders, one final roll back. And we'll roll them forward. And just for this last moment, enjoy maybe a moment or 2 of stillness. I invite you to take some nice deep cleansing breaths. The exhale is where it's at. So even for a count of 4 as you breathe out, 6 to 7 as you exhale. Wonderful way to kind of calm the nervous system if you've got maybe pre-game nerves or anxiety or have a hard time falling asleep. It's a wonderful way to get the nervous system to kind of dial it down and allow your body some rest. So give that a try. 4 breaths, 4 seconds for the in-breath, 6 to 7 seconds for the out-breath, and really has some seriously positive effects on the body and on the mind. So I hope you enjoyed today's little movement sequence. Again, my name is Jen. Anytime, lots of good stuff on the channel.